This guy's great.
Why on God's green earth would anyone want to ban AI so that they can work their job? It doesn't make any sense at all. Nobody makes enough money to survive. You can't save enough for a down payment on a house. It's just not going to be possible because we're competing with hedge funds like BlackRock and Vanguard. And people want to ban AI because they think it's going to take away their jobs. Of course it's going to take away your job. Why do you even want a job in the first place? Why do you want your children to suffer the same way you did, to go through the same things that you did, loss of hope, loss of their own dreams, loss of identity, so that you can make money? For what?
For what? He actually had a really good point, because I grew up in a weird way. Maybe most of you can't resonate with this, but both of my parents, I had my mom going, Jack, you do not want a normal job. She goes, you need to be the funny Tom Cruise. She really believed in me a lot. She's like, she was like, do yourself a favor and just make money being yourself. Find a way to do it. And I said, okay. There's a lot of pressure because you're like, oh no, I got to become funny Tom Cruise. How do I do that? And then I had my dad on the other side, right? I had my dad over here and he'd lean in and he'd be like, no, Jack, you're never going to be happy working for anybody. He goes, you can work with people. He goes, I do that every day. So I had both of my parents were so different from other parents because a lot of parents will recommend their kids go do some shit for 30 years that they don't even like to do. It makes sense to me. I mean, we're living in perfect times. Everything's backwards. Up is down. My uncle's my aunt. My cousin's my mom. I get it. This one was rich.
Texting me talking about, did you check with your job to see if they're gonna approve you off on these 3 days because before I booked the flight for a trip we doing? And I'm just like, which I didn't, but I'm like, book the flight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna put the request in, and then she was like, you think they're gonna approve it? I don't know how you did things when you had a job when you were younger, but over here, when I put a request in, it's not actually requesting off. This is what they professionally call it. That is the way of me letting you know that I'm not going to be there on that day. So if they don't approve it, I'm still not going to show up. So book the flight. I'm going to make it to the trip.
The only real reason I support that is because there's really no job security. They really don't give several shits about you. They could give 7 fucks. Anyone? Am I tripping? Guys? Over here? Am I wrong? I mean, unless you're flat tap you're totally broke, then I highly advise you show up to work. But if you got some money in the bank, shorty what you drank. Whatever. All right, this one was good. My daughter is 21 and already a licensed hairstylist, which is a trade, by the way. Okay, girl. I could use a little help myself. You know what I mean? Give me a discount. He goes, she makes great money, but she always says that people her age are not going to allow employers to treat them like crap. They will not put up with it, and they will just quietly quit. She is already looking into pharmacy tech. Okay, she keeps going. But yeah, I don't blame them whatsoever. I really don't. It's like two can play the game. Like it takes 2 to tango. Call me Johnny Fandango. How you doing? Oh, this one was rich. Toxic boss upset when I called out. Dude broke his arm, and then the boss gets mad. This made my week, honestly. You almost can't even get mad at it. It's kind of just funny.
Today was an all-hands-on-deck day. I know you allegedly broke your hand. This is a friendly reminder. The only acceptable reason they call out is an illness that is contagious. Otherwise, you're expected to show up. Catering orders all day. We're going out late, left and right. I'm not telling you that to feel guilty. I want to inspire you. When one of our team members is...
Can't be the only...
He goes, I want to inspire you. God, I want to literally drop kick that guy through the screen right now. Like, that was... Whew. Anyways, switch gears a little bit. Because I'm 30 years old and I have negative $4 in my savings account. Life is perfect. I love you.
Only person who feels like this. So I'm 30 years old. I'm unemployed. I've been unemployed for 4 months. I literally can't get a job. I've applied to over 150 jobs. I now have negative $4.41 in my savings account because of the monthly service fee that just hit. I don't know when I'm going to get a job. I feel very lost.
She has great hair, though. Just trying to look at the positives.
Feeling of being unemployed and applying to jobs and retailing your resume, getting rejected, and then seeing the job reposted literally 2 weeks later is demoralizing. And remembering that I am still worthy and I am still valuable has been very difficult.
Remember what we talked about earlier with customer service? Give more than you get. Connections with people. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's a real thing. Most of my jobs in my life was simply because I was really cool with somebody who owns something or works somewhere. Think about that. Don't be afraid to go through your contact list on your phone and go, who do I know that is Boss Daddy? Just saying.
I left my last job because it was destroying my mental and physical health. I liked the job, but I just couldn't do it anymore. And so I applied to a new job, and I was going to make the most money I was ever supposed to make in my life. And they laid me off 4 days before I was supposed to start due to company reorganization. And I haven't been able to find a job since. I don't have a Roth IRA. I don't have any type of investment accounts. I don't know if I'll ever own a house. I am married, but we're both children, to be quite honest with you. I live in an apartment that we can no longer afford because I lost my job. Moved down here for the job that laid me off 4 days before I was supposed to start. So when you sign a lease, you just can't get out of it like that.
So have you?
If your life sounds anything like that woman's, it's all good. It's all good. Not to laugh, but you should probably get on that. Just saying. No offense. I've been in the trenches. I get it. I lived in a Ford Fusion once. I understand. It's cool. 30's the new 20. We're all going to learn the hard way, it looks like. This guy goes, some jobs really think it's not about the money. He goes, well, for me, it's kind of about the money. He's got a point, though. It's like, why am I going to go to work? For no money? That makes sense.
You ever experienced like you asking about the pay and they really trying to ignore like the pay? Like they know that shit is like bogus or some shit. Like one time I was in orientation and I'm asking you like, hey, like how much we making? Cause obviously on Indeed, that shit probably lies. So you got to get clarification, right?
He's so right. The last restaurant job I worked at, if you're new here, I used to bartend and wait tables. This guy wanted me to work for him so bad. He's like, come work for me, man. You're gonna make $300, $400 every night. And I was like, dude, I'm making like $700 a night here. But then my boss sucked so bad that I just said, fuck it, I'll go make less money because I was doing this too. So I was like, I could afford to get paid less. But I get there, and like the first month, I'm making like $150 a night. And so I go up to him and I go, hey man, whatever happened to the $400 thing? Fucking lying sack of shit. I'm just kidding. If you're watching this, I hope you're doing well.
Bro was ignoring the fuck out the question. I'm like, hey, how much we gonna, you know what I'm saying? How much we gonna get paid type shit every week, every 2 weeks, like overtime and shit like that. We'll get to that later. Motherfucker, do you realize that's all I care about? I don't understand. The pay is why I'm here. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to make new relationships. I'm not here to, no, I'm here because of the pay. So tell me about the fucking pay. He eventually told me, oh, hell no, walk the fuck out. The hell I'm gonna do with $12 an hour? Get the fuck out of here.
I can't believe $12 an hour is still a thing. Like, honestly, it really makes no sense. I love it. I mean, I think society is going to benefit from that. I'm being sarcastic. But to be fair, I understand nobody wants to work, but the one thing I will say, like, could you imagine being homeless or like living in a bushes with the bush people? You'd have to do so much work, it's not even funny. Just think about that. Take money out of the equation. You're probably going to work even harder, to be honest. Maybe I'm tripping. God, that was a lot of fun. If you guys want to check out the full episodes, you can head over to my main channel. Wink, wink. Or don't. You can just surf the channel here. Either way, I'm totally stoked. And, God, that was a lot of fun. Appreciate you being here. Solid talk. It's getting really hot in this jacket. Bad choice.